Hey, it's James from the Murder Capital, and these are records in my life.
First and foremost, congratulations on your new record, Blindness, that just dropped. It just dropped a couple of weeks ago, actually. Can you tell us a bit about the inspiration behind it? And it moved in a different direction approach than the last one, from what I've read.
Yeah, I think the inspiration was to kind of just piss or get off the pot with this one. We really wanted to nail down what the sort of intensity was and is in our band, and in our music, and we wanted to kind of really kind of just put away all of the um, bells and whistles, and sort of focus on the substance of the track, really, and really honing in on the spirit of what the song was. We were working very much song by song, and there was nothing really conceptual about the idea of the record, but it was very much a song by song journey, and we worked um, a bunch of different sessions. We started in Dublin um, for a couple of weeks, then we went to Berlin for a few weeks. We were in London for a few weeks, and then in LA we finished writing it before we hit the studio in Silver Lake. So it was really a record that kind of revealed itself to us, although we had this kind of manifesto of what we wanted it to feel like and sound like, and the kind of intensity we wanted to mine. Like with all kind of good projects, I think it really shows face to you when it's ready.
Thanks for being on this show. Is about you, the artist, and the records that continue to inspire you. I was looking at some of the artwork on your beautiful artwork. I really like different record. It goes different, there's different artwork. It's creative. There's not just regular band photos or whatever or stuff. Two-part question: who's responsible, or is it various different artists? And you guys are very visual. So, do you have a favorite soundtrack? That's the second part of the question.
Nice. Yeah. So the first record, When I Have Fears, it's the cover for that is a photograph that I found kind of scouring the Magnum archives, and it's by a man called Christopher Steele-Perkins. And it's a photo of refugees in a sandstorm in Jordan in the 90s, I believe. It kind of immediately struck us and spoke to the isolation and grief and struggles that are on that album. We weren't, yeah, I don't think we were actually totally aware what the scene was at the time, but definitely the image was just kind of undeniable. And then the second record, Gigi's Recovery, that was painted by a good buddy of ours, Peter Doyle. Been friends with Pete for years, and yeah, we wanted him to be a part of the process of making artwork, and we sort of offered him up the potential, or yeah, I mean, what we did actually is we sat in a pub and we wrote this thing
Hmm.
down on a piece of paper and slid the paper across to him and said, like, the paper said something like, we want you to make all the art for the next record or whatever like that, and with a few spills of Guinness later, it was, I think he's got it somewhere, but yeah, Peter painted that, and we love that painting that he created. It's somewhere. I think it's in my bedroom here. It's
It's
rolled
a
up at the moment.
special. It's a beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, man. And for blindness, we decided to go another route. We decided to work with an artist and designer called Victor H. Um, he's done some a varying kind of eclectic mix of album covers. He did, like, most notably, I think he did Rosalia's album cover and Steve Lacy's album cover, and it's kind of operating in those like hip hop and pop worlds, and but it just always had this like really unique sort of eye for design. You see it very much. The devil is in the detail, and the album artwork itself. He was very much pulling from lyrical imagery on the record, which is cool for us. It sort of ties it, makes it more personal for us. So yeah, once we saw that the Black Angel and that background, it's funny. We sort of didn't want to go. The single covers are all drawn in this sort of crayon style, and we really didn't want to go that way with the album cover, but he proved us wrong. He sort of came back. We told him not to do it, and he did it anyway, and it was amazing.
Do you have a favorite soundtrack? It was just because being so visual, it kind of ties into, I was going to say that, you have a vision for something and sometimes inspired by a piece of music you hear, or a film or another piece of art. So what's your favorite soundtrack?
I'm gonna have to list a few. Like the first one that came to my mind straight away was the Royal Tenenbaums. I love the soundtrack to that
Beautiful.
film. Absolutely love it. Actually, I can just stick with that one. I love the playfulness of the more orchestral pieces. Um, and just like that, the Nico's These Days when Margot Tenenbaum is walking off the bus in slow motion is just one of the best moments in cinematic history as far as I'm concerned. And then you've got Luke Wilson attempting suicide in the bathroom, and Elliott Smith plays, and that like
Right.
Needle in the Hay. It's just like this. That soundtrack is just incredible, And I could go off about Ennio Morricone or Hans Zimmer or like one of those more, I don't know, or like maybe Philip Glass and Koyaanisqatsi, I think. But
Yeah,
yeah, Royal Tenenbaums today.
that's a great one. Yeah, Koyaanisqatsi, that soundtrack is like 30 years ahead of it. So you listen to it and it's
Totally.
still like,
Yeah.
my goodness. The Murder Capital have been touring like crazy, and I saw your itinerary, you're touring even more and more and more. We're hoping for some Canadian dates. I didn't see it on the itinerary, but what's a good record when if you're on a train or flying or on the bus and you're like exhausted, what's a good record to maybe after a show to unwind to chill down and
Elliott Smith's eponymous record is probably the one that I put on to kind of get that weighted blanket sort of feeling, St. Ides Heaven and Clementine and yeah, those songs. That album I go back to a lot over the past few years.
I alluded to Canada before and hoping you guys were going to show up here on this on a leg of your tour. Favorite Canadian record?
Songs of Love and Hate. That's my favorite Canadian record. Leonard Cohen.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Leonard Cohen. I mean, he's another one that I just shamelessly missed. Yeah, he's a treasure. I mean,
Yeah, man.
great pick. Thanks for reminding me. We live in volatile times. Obviously, the world is like pretty sideways right now, and there's some records that kind of send messages of hope or hoping to put it out there, like Marvin Gaye and The Clash, and like we talked about the Pogues, Bob Dylan. What's a good record to kind of, send that message out there that it's okay for people to have some dialogue, even though, you don't agree with them, instead of, filibustering and, you know,
Can I shamelessly say one of our own tracks? I hope honestly that the song "Love a Country" off our new record in some way opens that kind of dialogue. It's kind of the first time that I've written about things like that with the band, and yeah, I kind of hope that "Love a Country" does that in some way. I'm certainly not putting it up there with any of the names you just mentioned or anything like that, but I hope it adds to the conversation in some way.
final question, then on to the speed round. My dear nephew is just back in the dating game. What's a nice romantic album to kind of like, make a nice evening. He's making a nice meal and some good background music. What record you put on?
It depends on how you view that,
No, I
man.
know that's a good point actually.
Um, my mind went immediately to Transformer. That's probably what I would have on at a romantic dinner.
Interesting.
It's up and down, and it's definitely a little bit volatile at times, but
Yeah,
it does get to perfect day. So that's the record.
fantastic. On to the speed round, James, and we'll let you go. Thanks again for being on the show.
Cool,
Weed,
man.
water, or wine to listen to your favorite record or write.
Wine to listen and water to write.
Fantastic. Coffee with an artist, alive or dead.
Leonard Cohen.
Record of your high school years.
Youth and Young Manhood, Kings of Leon.
Words of wisdom for your fans and our audience.
My manager said to me recently, he who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary.
That's fantastic. Can I
Mm.
use that? Can I use that sometimes? Because it's beautiful
Totally,
and
man.
great.
It sticks out for me every day.
The show is really nothing without you. So please like or subscribe or check out our Patreon. And this year we've switched it up and you can win a record just for leaving a comment. Thank you again and we love you. Peace.